Today we're talking about confidence. I promise you even the hardest content isn't that hard. I mean, hell, even I've cleared Ultimate. The thing is, we all have to start somewhere. And in 14, it's all just kind of about faking it until you make it. Goal of this video is to give you enough information to ease your anxiety about doing content, whether that be as small as tanking in dungeons or as big as running Extreme, Savage, or Ultimate. By the end of this, you'll know about mitigation, the difference between shield healing, pure healing, and regen healing, and hopefully you'll have some idea about how to read a party finder. Oh, and most importantly, you'll learn that it's okay to fuck up. Because I'm so benevolent, I'll add timestamps to help you find what you're looking for. But if you only take one thing from this video, let it be that the only thing that is stopping you from doing harder content is your fear of doing harder content, and you are fully in control of that. Alright, super short visit to the classroom this time because this guy called me out and it made me feel bad. Real quick, I just want to touch on the different types of content and how much effort you really need to put into preparing for them. For literally anything that people normally queue in Duty Finder, just go in and do it. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to know mechanics. It's really not that hard. If someone gives you a hard time in there, just call them jobless and move on. For the current Extreme Trials and Savage raids, you need to be a little bit more ready. You should practice on striking dummies until your rotation is second nature. At the very least, you need the crafted gear for this tier. For Extreme, you just need to meld that gear, but for Savage, you really need to pentameld. You'll also be expected to bring food and pots with you. And for the love of God, unless the party says blind, read a guide. If you're going into Ultimates, Heidel and bless you. Believe it or not, the people who run Ultimates are actually more kind than the people who run Savage. If you're going into Ultimate, make sure you have your BIS for that expansion, bring whatever the current food and pots are, study like crazy, and just get in there and do it. You're gonna fail a whole bunch of times, but it's worth it. Alright, let's talk about the basic things that you need to know to not be an asshole in a dungeon. The most important rule is rule number 1. Always be casting. When your global cooldown comes off cooldown, you press another one. Honestly, it would be great if you press the right button, but even if you press the wrong one, pressing any button is more valuable than pressing nothing. If there are 3 or more enemies, you press the AoE button. If you play Sage, Toxicon is a gain on 2. If you play Machinist, I'm not figuring that out. Last thing, if the floor turns orange, move. This concludes the common knowledge segment. Alright DPS, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Your job is really easy. Just don't fucking die. But if you do die, get back up, learn from your mistakes, and keep hitting the enemies. Melees have one more job, and that's to hit their positionals. Casters, you need to make sure you don't run out of mana, so every so often hit the Lucid Dreaming button. Beyond that though, really, the DPS have nothing to worry about. Tanks, your job is to piss everything off. Turn on your tank stance and hit everything with AoEs. If it's far away, you can use your ranged attack or provoke. Being a tank means you get access to a whole bunch of buttons that tell the enemies, I'm not gonna take a portion of the damage you deal to me. These are called mitigation. A great example of mitigation is Rampart because every tank gets this ability. You're gonna have to read your tooltips to figure out what the rest of your mitigation buttons are. When the ouchies start piling up and you start taking more damage than you're comfortable with, start hitting the mitigation buttons. And don't forget, arm's length is mitigation. If your mitigations aren't enough and you're still about to die, hit your invuln button. Every tank has one. If all of this fails to keep you alive, it's obviously the healer's fault. Healers, you have a few jobs, but your most important job is to keep yourself alive. I know this is a wild concept, but you can't heal anyone if you're dead. In pretty much all content, if your healers die, your party wipes. As soon as you make sure you're not going to die, make sure the main tank doesn't die. They should be taking the most damage. Rezzing dead teammates is important, but not as important as making sure someone else doesn't die. Remember, that dead person wouldn't be dead if they did the mechanic right. Sage and Scholar are considered shield healers. It's their job to mitigate before globals and damage comes out. If you don't know the fight, this probably isn't the right job to pick. White Mage is for scrubs. Everyone can play it. When someone's health goes down, you heal them. White Mage, easy. And that's what we call pure healing. Pretty much every healer also has the option to use heal over time spells. You can use those when you're pretty sure your party won't die if you don't immediately heal them. Astro is a job that only exists for masochists. Hopefully in 8.0 you can come back and tell me I'm wrong. Last thing to address, healers still have to do damage. This isn't World of Warcraft, so when you're not healing, you need to be killing. I will now address the elephant in the room. A clear is a clear. If someone tries to tell you you're not good because your funny number isn't a color that they liked, then they are jobless, and you can ignore them and find a party that isn't full of scrubs. The funny number isn't for everyone else, it is for you. It is to help you get better. It is to help you reach your potential. You do not need to parse in the 100th percentile and be the best player in the world. That is stupid. You have a job. You have other things to do. Just play the game, and if someone gets on your ass, tell them to touch grass.